design, we have two parameters. One is called compensators, other one is controllers. So let us look at what are the different controllers available, and we'll concentrate on controller topic now. So what is a controller? Basically, controller is a device. So it can be electronic device, or it can be a mechanical or pneumatic device. So basically it is a device which is introduced in the loop. Again, the loop may be in the forward path or in the feedback path. So the moment if you add this control in the loop, then the transient response and the steady state response of the system can be modified. The other way, so depending upon the desired specifications, then we can design the controllers and we have to choose a proper controller. Now the best system is always one should have rise time, good rise time, which means the minimum rise time and a minimum settling time, and very smallest steady state error, which means a very good accuracy in the system, and should have very less peak overshoot. So to have these requirements in your system, we will see how to design the controllers and what are the different controllers that are available and what are the characteristics of the controllers. Now, so if you look at the history of the controllers, there are many controllers available, but I am quoting a few of them. We have proportional controller, integral controller, and derivative controller, and proportional plus integral controller, proportional plus derivative controller, proportional plus integral plus derivative controller. Let us look at the proportional controller. So what is the main purpose of it? The main purpose of this controller is to change the transient response as per the requirement. Basically, the oscillations and the peak overshoot and those things we can alter by altering the proportional controller. So what is this basically? We know that a closed loop block diagram, and this is a plant and this is what the controller is. Generally we are going to place the controller here. So this controller is now a proportional controller, which means it is a gain Kp. So Kp is a gain of the controller. Now, so the input to this is the error. Obviously for any control the input is E and output is M. So E of t and output is M of t. M of t is a manipulated variable, which means, so out of the control plant variables, so there is a one variable which is actually responsible to change the output of the system, and we know that the objective of the entire closed loop control system is that we need to have very less error, or ideally we say the steady state error should be 0, which means my output must be equal to the actual response must be equal to the desired response. So this is the Kp, and we are going to manipulate one of the variable which is M of t, which I am taking. So Kp is nothing but M of t by E of t. So output by input for this particular block is Kp. So what is this M? M I can also call the M as the controller output, because the controller is giving this output and by taking the error as the input. So the controller output is proportional to the error. The controller output is proportional to the error. Depending upon the error we have, and there are two ways again. So if the error is increasing, my output also increases, control output also increases. If error is decreasing, your control output also decreasing. This is one way. The other way also, if error is increasing, in some cases we need to reduce the controller output. So if error is decreasing, we need to increase the controller output. So we have these kinds of operations we have when it comes to the proportional controller. And what are the advantage of it? So for the first advantage we already seen, we can alter the transient response of the system, and also we can reduce the steady state error of the system. So somehow we cannot eliminate it, but you can reduce the steady state error to certain extent. What are the drawbacks? The first drawback is, as I just now quoted, so it cannot completely eliminate the error, so it only reduces the error. So complete elimination is not possible with the Kp. The other one is, when you are trying to increase the Kp to reduce the error, then there will be a problem with the transient response. What is that? The zeta is going to increase. So zeta is going to vary, which means it is going to reduce it. So when Kp is increasing, zeta is reducing. These two are inversely proportional. Then what about my second order system characteristics? When zeta is reducing, your peak overshoot will increase, which is not desirable for any system. And also this Kp is multiplied with the gain of my plant, the overall gain will also increase. When gain increases, and what could be the stability of the system, the relative stability decreases, and all these problems we are going to get when you try to reduce the steady state error. So we need to fix that properly depending upon the desired specification of the system. Next, integral controller. So what is the purpose? The basic purpose is to reduce the steady state error. Only steady state analysis we are going to look at here. The accuracy of the system is mere concern when you are looking at the integral controller. And what will be the transfer function? It is k by s, or when you write in a time domain, your output m of t is integral e of t, or e of t is dm of t by dt. So this is my integration. Since I have integration, so what I can say is this I controller will locate the history of the error. So it is something like a memory element. So depending upon the history of the error, how the error is changing for certain amount of time from 0 to t, then it is going to take the action. Which means the ideal condition is the error e of t must be 0. So when the error could be 0, so whenever the m of t is constant. So it is going to change something in the system such that my m of t is going to be a constant, so that error is going to be 0. Now if you look at the transfer function, again it is k by s. So this k by s I can write it as 1 by tis. So the ti is the reset time of the controller, integral controller reset time. So I can fix that ti also. Now, so what are the advantages? As I said, the advantage is you can reduce the error, but we are introducing one pole to the system, one pole at the origin. So whenever you introduce one pole at the origin, there will be a stability problem, and we have to always look at the stability and before going to look at introduce the integral controller. And next is the derivative controller. So what is the purpose of derivative? Is to improve the steady state transient response and also improve the stability of the system. And what will be the transfer function? The transfer function m of s by e of s is kds, or we can also say it is kts, tds. Td is your rate time or derivative time. Now it is a derivative. What does it mean? Your m of t is dt by dt. So whenever the error is changing, this is going to opposite the change. Now when you look at the error is some at the maximum value, now error is decreasing to 0. So which is actually is done by the some other controller, but this controller will oppose that action, because so it does not know whether the error is decreasing or increasing. It will know only the error is changing. So whenever the error is changing, it will not allow. So this kind of action is called anticipatory action. Error decreasing, which is important for us, which is allowable, whereas derivative is not allowing it. So when error is going from 0 to maximum value, and again it is going to oppose that change, which is allowable to us. Therefore generally we don't use a D controller alone because of this anticipatory action. Now I am using KDS, so there is a 1 0 which is introduced at the origin in S plane, therefore the system stability obviously increases. And also we can increase the all transient parameters, rise time, settling time, and also peak overshoot. All these things can be improved using the derivative controller. So proportional controller we can use it alone, integral control alone we don't use it, and derivative also we don't use alone. So integral you may use, but derivative should not use alone. So we have the combinations here. The one combination is proportional plus integral controller. So I will take the advantage of the proportional and also I will take the advantage of integral, and I am going to add them. Then when you look at the block diagram here, the controller we have Kp plus Ki by S. When you add, there will be one pole at the origin and 1 0 which is coming in the numerator. Since 1 0 is coming in the numerator, so that will be added to my open loop transfer function, so which obviously improves the stability of the system. And again there is one pole, so we are increasing the type of the system, therefore steady state error decreases in this particular system. So we can use proportional plus integral controller to change the steady state error to 0, completely 0, and also somehow it can improve the stability of the system. Next, proportional plus derivative controller. So we have Kp plus Kds. So we can look at here, they are connected, so all these controllers are parallel controllers in fact. So Kp plus Kds, when these two are added, then I can say there is a 1 0, when finite 0 is added to the system, stability will be improved, and there is no change in the denominator, therefore there is no effect of your steady state error or steady state analysis of the system, steady state response of the system when you use PD controller. The next we have PID controller. So this is the ultimate, you can say, because it is going to use all the advantage of P, I and D. So it is called proportional plus integral plus derivative controller. So when you look at the block diagram, I have Kp, Ki by S and Kds. Then when you add these three, it is going to be a second order system, this particular block itself. And we have one pole at origin, this pole, and also there are two finite zeros in the numerator. So which means it is stability is already taken care with the zeros, and also from the pole at origin, which will take care about the steady state error of the system. So if you look at all the possible controllers which we have, the better obviously PID controller, because it gives very good transient response and very good steady state response. Then why can't we use PID control always? Why we need to go with the P or P plus I or P plus D? The problem is the tuning of PID control is very difficult. Tuning is setting the values of Kp, Ki, Kd, which is a tuning. So if we don't choose properly those three values, even the stability system may become unstable. So we have to be very careful, and it is keep on changing. So when you fix Kp, Ki, Kd for one particular system, and those values are not same for any other system, so dynamically they have to change. So the literature gives us some of the best methods to tune PID controller. One which is a Ziegler-Nicholas method. In this particular method, I am going to operate the system in open loop. I am going to increase the Kp value such that we will have continuous oscillations, which means the system would be at a marginally stable case. Then find out what is the oscillation frequency, what will be the peak value of those oscillations. Depending upon that, then I can have a set of formulas which will give us, suggest us to decide my Kp, Ki and Kd values for all the controllers, not only PID. So look at the table, this table gives us. So when it is P, then you can take it is 0.5 Ku. Ku is a gain. So at what value of gain you will be getting the oscillation, that is what the Ku is. Then when it is Pi, then again it is a 0.45 Ku, and so we have I, that will be 0.54, we have Ku by Tu. So Tu is a time period of oscillations when you have continuous oscillations. Then PID controllers, as I said, we generally not go for only derivative, even we don't go for P plus D also, because of the anti-spaced nature of the derivative controller, we directly go with the PID. So when you have PID, then I can fix the Kp value as 0.6 Ku, then I can fix the Ki value as 1.2 Ku by Tu, and I can fix my Kd value as 3 into Ku and Tu by 40. So when you use these formulas, then I can get the better results when you have a system. There are other methods also available, but we have this one standard method which I am giving here.